What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over ranking our top 10 as small forwards right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, here's the deal. Here's the situation, okay? At the small forward position, my number one, the gap between my number one and my number two is bigger than the gap from my number 2 to my number 11. And I'm going to be ranking 11 guys because I can't just not talk about one of the guys. And so again, if you are new to the channel, man, please smash that subscribe button. I really do appreciate all the recent support on the channel. You guys are absolutely amazing, okay? So just want you guys to know and realize that as we do a dive into this thing. Coming in at my number 11 is Chris Webber. Here's the deal with Chris Webber. I'm convinced he's broken. Like, if you shoot with this stick, I'm convinced this card's broken. I've never been more 50 with the card than I have been with Chris Webber. I don't know how else to phrase it. Yes, defensively he's good. Yes, I like his 6'10 frame. I like a lot of things about this Chris Webber. His release is super quick. If you do shoot with square, I think I'm moving him to number 10. I've convinced myself, okay? I moved him to number 10. He's still got Pro 2 leaner. It's just his shot is tough to time. So moving into my number 11 spot is Josh Smith. Another card I love, okay? I can't hate on Josh Smith a whole ton. I do think his release is kind of overrated. It's a good release, but I think for the small forward position, it is definitely an overrated release. Pro 2 leaner is nice. Russ Westbrook dribble style is fine. Defensively, basically maxed. Comes down to this for Josh Smith. I just like other cards more. I think Josh Smith's elite on this game. I'm just more comfortable with some other cards, which we will get into. At my number 9 is Andre Kirilenko. One thing I will say is this. I like old cards more than I like new cards. And I don't know why. It might just be a comfortability thing. But that is something that obviously you do have to take into consideration, as I just realized I missed somebody else, okay? So AK is going to be my number 9. We're going to move Tim Thomas into my number 10, okay? Because I just realized I missed out on Tim Thomas, and this list is just all over the place. But there's too many good small forwards, and this is the problem. When I go through and decipher, I was like, AK is my number 9. He's better than Tim Thomas. But I still think Tim Thomas deserves a spot. Number 10, I don't necessarily think his release is that great, but he's 6'10". He plays great defense. He's going to knock down his open shots. He deserves his number 10. Thing about it, though, is Andre Kirilenko is better at number 9. And again, I like old cards more than new cards, which is why these cards are super low. 94 3-ball, 95 speed, great defense. I think AK greens more shots than Tim Thomas. That's why I like him slightly more. Tim Thomas does have that Pro 2 leaner, which obviously does help the card out quite a bit. At my number 8 tier, okay, I'm all over. At my number 8, we're plugging in Luol Deng. New card that came out today, or when you guys are watching this yesterday. I think Luol Deng is a super complete small forward. Why do I like him more than Tim Thomas, AK? Well, I think a lot of it is preference-based. The KD leaner is a good leaner. No doubt, it's tough to contest. Donovan Mitchell jump shot, I've always loved this year. Do I love his dribble style? No. Okay, that is something that I think leaves something to be desired. And maybe I'm too high on Luol Deng. But my thing is this. I love his release. And I think as far as the rest of the card, his player build is going to be elite. And I think compared to AK, he's basically the same card. Is AK better than Luol? I think you can make that debate. But I really do like Luol Deng's release here. Coming in at my number 8. At my number 7, 100 overall James Worthy. I got to be honest. I do not love James Worthy at all. But I do think his shot is going to be more consistent than Chris Webber. And so that's why James Worthy's higher. Pro 2 leaner. John Wall, Horford uppers gross on very quick. But the card's perfect. Like 6'9", perfect card here. You can argue, honestly, you can have all of these guys anywhere here. The thing for me is, like, Chris Webber's release is quicker than a guy like Luol Deng's. You're going to agree more with Luol Deng. All of these guys you could have at any ranking. Honestly, they're all in that same type of caliber. And this just goes to my whole point of, I'm going to just plug in my number 6 because I think he's right in there. It just goes to my whole point of, all of these cards are in the same tier. Genuinely. Blake Griffin at my number 6. I think he's in the same tier. Jonathan Isaac on very quick Pro 2 leaner. One thing I like about Blake is, his player model is going to be wider than a lot of these guys. But again, even Blake is in this same tier, right? It's a tier of guys that a lot of them are going to have quick jump shots. A lot of them are going to be able to play good defense. Most of them, all of them are 6'9" or 6'10". They're all in the same category. And so as I'm doing this top 10, I wouldn't look too much into, oh, well, Josh Smith's lower than Luol Deng. Like, all of these cards are in the same type of caliber, right? You know, they are going to give you relatively similar things. And so that's the one thing to kind of pay attention to. At my number 5, Pink Diamond Michael Beasley. And I know it's going to make some people mad, but I am way better with Pink Diamond Michael Beasley than any of the rest of these cards. Objectively, should Andre Kirilenko be better than Michael Beasley? Yes. But I'm a firm believer that with what Bees is fade and the Cam Thomas on quick, the average person is going to have more success with Michael Beasley than AK. Plus, you can get Beasley souped up for a fraction of the price, and I think that needs to be talked about. You can get a Beasley with a few Hall of Famers for dirt cheap. And so, look, I know you can get into the expenses part of it, but Bees is not that expensive, and you can get a suit Bees for relatively inexpensive. Yes, I like Beasley more than Josh Smith. Yes, I like Beasley more than James Worthy, Blake Griffin. It's my personal bias. At my number 4, Dark Matter LeBron James. Yes, I like LeBron James more than the rest of those Dark Matters. Why? I think his release is the easiest to time out of all of them. He attacks the rim, his player build's elite, he has hot spots everywhere, his defense is good, and he is 6'9". Again, all of these cards are preference. The one thing LeBron James isn't going to have that all these cards have, some of them have, is that Pro 2 leaner. Outside of that, LeBron James is as good as any of them, and honestly, I'm so comfortable with LeBron this year that I'm ranking him higher. Again, it's my personal bias, I get it, but I like LeBron James that much to put him at my number 4. At my number 3, we're plugging in Dark Matter Giannis Antetokounmpo. Another one that I'm personally biased on. But I'd go as far as to saying, if I had my list like this, or this, like, it really does not mean anything. Because in my opinion, all of these cards are literally like the exact same. You know, and so that's kind of the one thing that I'm having trouble with is it's like, Giannis is a different type of card. He's 6'11". That's why I really love him. Attacking the rim is going to be a beast. His release is on quick. There's really no flaw in Giannis. Giannis is a different card, but I still think he's in this same type of realm of players. All of these small forwards, to me, are in the same sphere, right? Are just as good as the you know, next best guy. It just really comes down to it's so tough to separate them. At my number 2, we're plugging in Dark Matter Michael Beasley. And here's where I think there is a little bit of separation between Michael Beasley and the rest. Cam Thomas, I'm very quick. Pro 2 leaner. He's by far the best offensive small forward that we've talked about. And defensively, he's still 6'9" and going to be able to do some things. I think Michael Beasley's Dark Matter separates himself in a big time way over some of the rest of them. And initially when I had made this list, I was like, I think you know, Giannis is going to be ahead of Bees. But as I, you know, went through it, I'm like, nah, Bees just does too much. And that's the thing for me is I want complete cards. But not only that, I want cards I'm comfortable with. And so that's why I'm hesitant on you know, a Chris Webber card. If I'm not going to green consistently with a card, why am I hyping him up? That's kind of where I'm at right now. Coming in at my number 1 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And honestly, I'm going to move every single person I have on here a spot lower. Because I think there's enough separation to do that. I think Giannis is that much better than any other small forward. I mean, again, this Michael Beasley is probably like in the middle here, right? But the rest of these cards are all basically the same tier. So if I was to do a tier list right now, I mean, it really would be Giannis at S tier, the rest at A tier, is really what I would do. Michael Beasley's kind of in that in-between stage of being better, but that's what I would do. And so that's going to wrap it up for our top 10 point guards. A little bit of a different top 10 point guards, right? We didn't just do it the same, you know, or the old way. And if I were to give you my top 10, here's how it would look. My main video, or my main point of these videos, is to help you guys out. And that's why, with the small forward list today, I had to have a little different approach, right? I had to approach it in a way that's like, you know what? We're not just going to go 10 to 1. And, you know, we're gonna start at 11 and then 12. And then, oh, I forgot this guy, But at the core of it, if you want my top 10 small forwards, Tim Thomas 10, AK 9, Luol 8, James Worthy 7, Blake 6, all the way down the list in that order. Yes, I like the old Giannis and LeBron over the new Luol Deng and AK. It's my personal opinion. Let me know your thoughts. If I was to maybe move a guy up, it would be Andre Kirilenko. Like, I think you could have him at 3, and I'm not going to sit here and complain. That is one guy I might be too low on. But other than that, I think this list is fire. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.